Of Revelation, and I know that some think this is great and I've learned a lot so far, and that others think this might be a bit different to what I'm used to what I've studied, and I get it, I understand, and as I said, this is not the only way to understand Revelation. This is one of the ways, and this is the way that I've been taught as I've been studying. This is the way that I know how to understand it, and it makes perfect sense to me. And so I'm sharing that way of understanding Revelation with you. Because I don't believe that we can fully understand what Revelation means for us until we fully understand what it meant for those who read it for the first time or heard it for the first time in the first century. Those readers. And so I have been leading you each Sunday in this text into context type of approach. And that's important for us. And if you've been here long enough, while I've been preaching and while I've been the minister of this church, it's actually been my approach with every book of the Bible. That we put the scripture up and I speak into that scripture, looking at text within that context. And either looking at historical context or biblical context. So the way I approach Revelation is not any different to any of the other books that we've been looking throughout the last 3+ years that I've been here. So having said that, let's look today in Revelation 13. So we're going to focus on some things which are quite complex messages. But before we go there, sorry, Anthony, you got my permission to not agree with me on what I'm going to be talking about today. So you got my permission to disagree. I know I'm right, and you can disagree with me if you want to. Okay. In order to understand Revelation 13, I have to give you some historical background. Some of this we've spoken about before, and some might be new to you. In 60 AD, there is a general in the Roman army in the area of Judea, Israel, and his name is Vespasian. Okay? He has a tremendous amount of respect from his soldiers. He is a leader among leaders. He was a great guide to his troops. In one particular battle, Vespasian got wounded in his head. Everyone thought that he was going to die, yet he continued fighting the battle, and they won the battle. And his level of popularity literally went from here to here. Even after the battle, they still thought he was not going to make it, yet he recovered and went on to do even greater things. Now, the campaigns that he led ultimately ended in his son Titus leading troops through Jerusalem to destroy the temple in 70 AD, and ultimately Masada and the fall of Masada. If you've been to Israel and you know the story, you will know what I'm talking about. Vespasian was a big character from the Roman world in a Jewish mindset of that day. Okay, so then you get this Nero, who was quite a tyrant and cruel emperor. He dies, and history moves into what was called the era of the 4 emperors. There are 3 guys that try to get position of being an emperor, and 3 guys in a total of 6 months. Okay? Very unstable period and no real good leadership at that time. And so the Praetorian rise up. The Praetorians were basically the Roman special forces. They rise up say no more Roman Senate. We want Vespasian to be the emperor. And through a very interesting series of events, Vespasian becomes Caesar of Rome. And that matters to us because Vespasian enters a new Rome family dynasty, and that is Valerian's dynasty. He was known as Vespasius Valerius. That was his Latin name. And that mattered because when he dies, his son Titus becomes Caesar, but he becomes Caesar for only 2 years. And then he gets this fever. Okay? And he dies from this fever. And the reason I'm doing that is because it was very questionable how he got this fever and why he died from that fever. So his younger brother took over the throne. And the name of the younger brother was Domitian. We've been spoken a lot about. At that time, every Caesar had what I call an advent, which is basically the word that means arrival. It's an announcement of the arrival of the emperor. And over years, some of them had more than one advent arrive, which is introducing them. Domitian had 22 of these advents to celebrate who he is and how good he is and how full of himself he was. He was such an evil man that when he died, the Roman instituted a law that was called the Mansius Memorial, which basically meant damnation of your memory. Okay, this is the Romans instituted that law. What they did was, after he died, Romans went through the entire Roman Empire, and anything that had his name chiseled on it, they chiseled it out. Any image that there was of him, they destroyed. Any statue, they knocked it down. So that in your mind, I want you to show you some pictures of what we're going to be talking about today. By far, the largest advent that Domitian had was in the city of Ephesus. Okay, we get the book of Ephesians, which was a letter to the church, which became the center of emperor worship during the time of Domitian. And they began to build structures that became known as a Domitian gymnasium. Now, when we think of the word gymnasium, you just think of sports, exercise, and all that kind of stuff. But in those days, it was much more than that. It was a place of education. So if you can show the first slide up, please. Okay. So, if you look at this picture here, this entire area, this is obviously now the ruins, this entire area was basically the gymnasium. This structure was huge, it was massive. And these are what you're looking at with the ruins of the Domitian Gymnasium today. Okay? It was a massive thing, and historians say that it would have taken them 100 years to have built the structure. They completed it in 4 years. In 4 years. Massive amount of resources and money was going into this because Ephesus wanted to make a statement. If you look now in the corner over here, you can see this is what looks like almost like a farm field. Okay? That was actually the ancient harbor of the city. And over time, it was covered up, that there is no more. The harbor itself, now in modern time, is 3 kilometers away from the spectrum. Ephesus was the #1 port in Asia Minor. So this is the remains of the gymnasium that was built right on the port. In fact, historians record this building went up so fast that it looked like a beast was rising out of the sea. I want you to remember what I've just said. When you come to Ephesus by boat, the first thing that you will see is a Domitian gymnasium. A statement of where they believe the power came from. But this was not all. And before we go there, can we go to the second slide? So this is basically what it would have looked like in those days. This is an artistic impression of, and on the other side, this is facing the land. On the other side, where the smoke is, on the other side here, was a huge statue of Domitian, with his hand raised up like this. The power of Rome. Can you go to the next one? Now remember that he was a part of now the Flavian dynasty, and this is more or less where it was on that surface. That temple that I just showed you would have covered that surface, and there would have been preparation rooms for giving your offering to Emperor Domitian before you were able to go and buy anything and so on. Next picture, please. Right, now this is looking here from the bottom, and this is part of the columns that were still left in ruins, so you can imagine that structure that you saw sitting on top of those. There were 24 of those pillars, and you can't see it very well in this picture, but what you would have seen here is there would be a god that would have been carved into those pillars. So the image that I wanted you to understand is that these gods were holding up the statue of who? Domitian. Okay? So all these gods were actually under Domitian. Okay? Now, if that wasn't enough, can you go to the next slide? So I want you to think about this. There's a part of Domitian's statue that basically that big statue that I was telling you, and basically that's all that's left of that statue. Okay. It was over 12-meter statue. What I wanted you to think about is that if you entered from the sea, you would see the Domitian Gymnasium, that first picture that I showed you, that one by the port. Okay? If you entered by land, the first thing that you would see then is a Domitian temple with that statue staring at you, going like this. The power was in his hand, holding the scroll we spoke about. Think about this. We spoke about it last week. We said that the dragon was who? Say Satan.
Satan.
Satan. Okay? The dragon was Satan. In the world of the Bible, anyone who served the dragon was known as the beast. Domitian is the beast of the sea and the beast of the land. Okay? And you saw that the Domitian temple had a huge of pillars of God holding this god Domitian. Okay? Now, I want you to imagine that you are a small home church in Ephesus. So I want you to try and imagine that you guys are a small church, a home church in the town of Ephesus. And you see these two temples being built before your very eyes. This is profound, because as you look, you can't help but see these two temples built in front of you. And you probably think to yourself, what are we going to do? Because what happened for them was, and we spoke about it before, it's worth for me to mention it again, in order for them to buy and sell things, they had to do something that was very interesting. Remember the agora that we spoke about and showed the pictures? Agora was a marketplace. Okay? Now, in order to buy and sell in a marketplace, you will have to go and offer incense to the gods. Most historians agree that you would have to offer either at the temple, where those pillars of those gods hold the statue, or at the gymnasium. So that way you would have to go and offer your offering to this god, Domitian. And that will give you some kind of a mark on your hand. And it was known as the mark of the beast. If you actually look at it, and if you understand the history behind it, Revelation doesn't become that complicated of a book. And we've made it more into what it's supposed to be. The mark of the beast was simply that mark that you received in order for you to prove that you gave offering to God Domitian, and now you are able to sell and buy. So here's the question to this little church in Ephesus. Do you take the mark? Do you take the mark? Now it's easy for us in this room with our stomachs full of breakfast, or we're going to have breakfast or lunch later on today after the service. It's easy for us to sit here and say, no way, I'm not going to take the mark of the beast. I'm a Christian. There's no ways I'm going to do that. How about parents? I want you, this little church in Ephesus, imagine you parents looking at your children or grandchildren who are starving because they've had no food for the last week or so because you don't want to take the mark of the beast, which means you can't go to the market to buy or sell. What about then? Do you take the mark as you look at your children or grandchildren starving? What about last week when your best friend got arrested and their kids got murdered because they were followers of Jesus and they refused to take the mark, and so the Romans came into the house, took them out and killed them? And you know that because they're your neighbors. And some of the other neighbors started pointing fingers at you because you used to go to the market, but then you stopped going to the market since you started this home church in your home, and all of a sudden now it's not good enough to go to the market. What about now? Do you take that mark? Why not? You might be the next one to be killed. The neighbors got killed. Some fingers were being pointed at you that you used to go, but now you don't go. And maybe the next knock on the door is going to be a knock on the door coming to take you and your children out to kill you. Are you going to take the mark? Yes or no? I think we're very quick to judge them, aren't we? In whether they took the mark or not. And now it's with that mindset that I want us to quickly look at a small section of Revelation 13. And I'm literally going to read only 3 verses there. So let's go to Revelation 13, verse 1 to 3. And I saw a beast rising out of the sea. Now who is that? Who is that beast?
Gymnasium.
It's Domitian. Okay? Put yourself in the first century Ephesus. Who is the beast of the sea that rose up with the statue looking at you? Domitian. With 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 diadems on its horns, and blasphemous names on its heads. And the beast that I saw was like a leopard, its feet were like a bear, and its mouth was like a lion's mouth. And to it the dragon gave his power and his but his mortal wound was healed. Who do you think that was? Did I just told you history?
Yeah.
It's that guy, Vespasian. Okay, remember? He was wounded, they thought he was going to die, and he carried on fighting. Again, this is not complicated. If you look deeper to what it meant, everyone knew of the emperor who was later on an emperor, but when he was a general, everyone knew who it was that was most famous for that event. Yet we make this book so complicated that many people actually don't even read this part of the greatest scripture. How can you start reading the scripture Genesis, but be too scared to read it all the way to the end, which is Revelation? And carries on, it says, and the whole earth marveled as they followed the beast. Now, it goes on to talk about some of the people who refused in the scriptures. It carries on talking about some of the people who refused to worship and then died by the sword, and by the sword they died, the scripture says. So let me ask you another question. Again, Hope Church in Ephesus, you're sitting together talking about the two temples that were just built, and think to yourself that the mission coming to your area is coming to with his advent, in other words, the announcement of his arrival. What do you do? Think about it. The whole city is required by Roman law to go and announce his arrival. And if we don't go, we will die. And if we go out and see him, and we refuse to bow down and sing praises to God Domitian, then we're going to die. So what do we do? And our children look at you and ask you, Mom, Dad, are we going to die? Because they know. Are we going to die? And what is the reply that you're going to give to them? I don't know. Now, Revelation 13 will go on to talk about the number of the beast, and it's a number like a man. The number is 666. Now, you need to note that there is a distinction in Revelation 13 between the mark and the number. The mark is not getting 666 put on your hand. And there's a lot of confusion about that. The mark and the number are not the same thing. So what is the mark? What does the number mean? It's 3 sixes. 666. Again, this is not the first time this number has shown up. Remember, we spoke about it last week, about Adam and Eve and David and Goliath. And Goliath was 6 cubits long. He had a spear that weighed 6 shekels, and he had a brother or himself that had 6 fingers. Okay? And there was a reference to that. So here's the deal. 3 sixes. 6 is the number of men. Okay? We spoke about 7, which is the number of God. We spoke about the number 8, which is the completion. Okay? 6 is the number of men. 3 is the number of community. Always. Think about the Trinity. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So it's about empire. It's about an empire of men. And it always shows up that way every time that it is used in Scripture. It shows that way with Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. If you don't believe me, 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 14. sixes. It's an amount of men, 6 being the number of men, 3 being the number of community, that rise up. It shows that way in David and Goliath. It shows up with Greece and with Babylon. The number of men in a community of greatness. It always shows up that way. Text, interpret, text. It's not Saddam Hussein. It's not Russia. It's not communist China. It's not any of the political parties in this country. It's not Donald Trump. Text, interpret, text. 3, community, 6, number of men, 3 sixes, a greatness of number of men who rise up. You see, for me, it's not that important to understand what the number of the beast and the mark of the beast was. But I think it's critical for us to wrestle with it. How you and I take the mark without even realizing that we have taken it. Where in our lives, I want you to think here, where in our lives have we taken the mark and didn't realize that we took it? I don't want to step on anyone's toes, including mine. What are we making too much of a priority in our culture today? Think about it. I think we as Christians have a priority problem, to be honest, including myself. Do we get excited about God like we get excited about other things? I mean, there's been a great excitement this last weekend in this town. How many of us get that excited and look forward to this weekend that we've had? And I'm not putting down any of this weekend. I'm not a old Queenstown boys. I don't yet understand. My little boy will grow up being an old Queenstown boy. But I look at the excitement and I look at the evidence, the announcement of the arrival of these old boys and the flags and the jet guys and the songs and the girls supporting the boys and all that kind of stuff. And here we are standing on the arrival of Jesus into Jerusalem, entering one of the most important weeks in the calendar of the Christian faith. How many of us get that excited about it? You know what the word enthusiasm means? It means in God excited. In Theo, God, Zeal, in God excited. What have we allowed to get hold of us which has nothing to do with God? You see, it was the blood of the Lamb and the words of their testimony that our brothers and sisters in Ephesus were concerned about. Do I go? I don't go. Do I take the mark? I don't take the mark. Do I feed my children and my wife? Or do we go without? And that is the way why we are here. And this is why we are here today. Remember we spoke about 2 weeks ago that there were 2 ways of responding. And one of them was to stay and the other one was to run. And we also tend back to, I'm not going to run, I'm going to stay and fight. And that's great, that's honorable. And we look down at those who ran. What did they do, the little church in Ephesus? They ran. And they hid. And archaeologists, if you go to those parts, Monte, Turkey, and so on, they find these tunnels and they find this ruse. Okay, very similar to, remember when everyone was looking for Saddam Hussein, now you see me, now you don't kind of thing, because you would go into the underground tunnels, okay? The main problem in Israel, why the Philistines constantly go into Israel and bomb certain places, because they built tunnels underneath. Nothing new. They would have run to the tunnels, they continue being faithful, walking obedience as we spoke about, walking faithful obedience to God, and decide we're not going to take them on. We are going to run. But as we run, we're going to preserve the faith. And it is because of that that you and I are here today. Because of the testimony. You know what we need today in this country? It's a group of followers of Jesus who will tell that there is nothing more important than Jesus in our lives. That's all. You know, there's a story of a boy who his father is reading a newspaper and his boy is just standing there and he says, Daddy. And the father actually got irritated with his dad, and with his son. And he looks at the newspaper and he sees the map, the outline of Africa, and then taking the bottom side of it. So he takes a piece of paper, he tears it to pieces, and he gives it to his son. And he says, put the pieces together. And within minutes, the son puts the pieces together, and again takes it to his father and says, Daddy, what do you want? And he shows him the picture of Africa and South Africa put together, all the provinces where they're supposed to be and everything. The father is absolutely amazed. He shredded the newspaper to pieces. And he says to his son, how did you do that? He says, Daddy, it was easy. In the back there was a picture of Jesus. When he puts Jesus into, all the pieces come together. Isn't it? This is not about having it easy in life when we follow Jesus. Try and tell that to a guy in the first century of Ephesus. Does our life show what is the most important thing in our lives? And again, John keeps on bringing this revelation. Whether you are in a battle, deciding not to fight your sword with the word of God, whether you're part of the game, how you run the race, how you finish the race, or whether you're a little church in Ephesus with both the Domitian Gymnasium built before you, or the Domitian Temple on the other side, and you choose not to go to any of these temples and get the mark of the beast. So I want to meet with you as we enter into this Holy Week. How do we live our life? How do we show how we live our life? And what's most important in our life? You see, there has to be this shift in us. We might have been doing church for a long time, but people out there know what church is about. Let us not be a community of men who rise up, but let us be a community of God's people who stand up and tell of our general who takes away the sins of the world. And I leave that with you. Amen?
Amen.
Right, so we're going to finish off with the singing.